Get on your super gloves and clench your butt cheeks because it's episode 158 of the Fanboy Podcast. I'm Brett Miro, and we have so much shit to get through today. Holy moly. Big weekend just passed with San Diego Comic-Con, and we have a lot of stuff to cover. A little heavier on the Marvel side, just be forewarned. There was not much there for DC, but hey, we're going to make the best of it. I know I got my DC people out there like me. We love our DC stuff, but they were pretty quiet this past weekend. Although, as we'll get into, there were a couple little things that popped out after San Diego Comic-Con that have some potentially huge implications. I don't know what's going on anymore. We live in a wild timeline. I don't understand anymore. So before we get going with all the San Diego Comic-Con news, we will start off with what is and forever will be what we've been watching and playing. Or since it's just me, it's what Brett's been watching and playing. So I will piggyback on last week. I dove a little more into that game Stray, which is, the internet has affectionately dubbed the cat game. You're a little cat. You have a little robot companion. You get separated from your friends in the beginning, and you end up in this weird, I think it starts underground, and you're moving upward in this like weird city, like in the future, that is completely inhabited by robot people. There are no humans left. You're basically one of the only organic creatures remaining in this world, at least as far as I've played so far. I'm probably I don't think it's that long. It's like 5-6 hours I've heard. I probably played like 2-ish hours, maybe a little bit more. But basically what it is it's kind of an adventure game. I described it a little bit last week, and as I've gotten in a little bit more into it, now I've seen some more gameplay. You're talking to people. You're kind of solving puzzles in the environment. You are jumping, but it's not a platformer. Like, you're basically just looking at different ledges, and if the X prompt comes on screen, in this case I'm playing on PlayStation, so the X button, or the cross button, whatever people call it. It's supposed to be cross, not X. It's so weird. If you didn't know that, you know it now, and now you have to suffer like me. But you press that button, and that will just jump you to the ledge. So there's no like fine-tuning jumps. You're not going to have any like weird like accidental deaths. And so far, there is some kind of enemy type in there. I don't know if there are more, but there is one type in there that, again, it's puzzly. You're not. I do have like an ability now where I can kind of like zap these little creatures, but it's got a very, very short window, and you overheat, and then you can't use it. So it is a lot of just kind of like finding ways to bottleneck these many little like bug things. They're called Zerks or something, chase you, and you have to find ways to bottleneck them and maybe like, kind of fool them so they're not coming after you, and then you can get to like higher ground or a different section or different area. So anyway, that's the best way I can explain it. But you're moving around, you get to do a bunch of cool cat stuff. Yeah, you get to like scratch your claws on things. You can meow whenever you want. There's a button to meow. Contrary to what Mario said when I first started talking about this game, there is not a button that you hit to lick your asshole. So that is not in the game. It's only cute cat stuff. So you can jump, you can meow, you can rub up against people's legs, and you can scratch on doors and walls and on the rug. You can do that thing. They do it all the time. And you can sleep, because that's what cats do also. You can just find spots to sleep, and you talk to these weird robot people. The aesthetic design of the world and of the characters is absolutely amazing. All the animations for the cat are awesome. I love the world. The story is very intriguing. It's like some kind of sci-fi story. Learning little bits as you go along that, like, in this world, there used to be humans, but apparently, something happened and they're not there anymore. But now these robots are like sentient, and they sort of imitate humans. Like, they're doing human type things, and it's almost like they revere them or just felt sorry that they went out, so they like tried to replicate human behavior. It's really interesting. It's got some cool stuff. There's some neat little existential stuff going on as well. So I am going to keep playing it. It's called Stray. I believe it's on PlayStation. I think it might be on everything. I could be lying. Actually, I think I'm lying. I think it's on PlayStation and like PC maybe. Or maybe just PlayStation. I don't know. I'm not really helping you out here, but look for it. It's called Stray. It's I think it was like $30. And it's awesome. It's really, really cool. If you do have the higher tier of PlayStation Plus, so not the base version, if you have like the extra, which is like one tier up, not the top tier, but just like one tier up, so confusing. You do also get that game for free, almost like a PS Plus game this month, in addition to like the regular PS Plus games. So really exciting. Stray's really cool. Still poking around in Tiny Tina's, still poking around in Tales of Arise. I've been off these past 2 weeks, and I've just like I can never be satiated. I'm all over the place. I'm playing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. Also, I jumped back into God of War, playing that on a new Game Plus. I've barely into it. I maybe played like an hour. Just got past like the Baldur fight in the beginning of the game. Might be a little ways past that. Really enjoying it because they did do an update for the game for PlayStation 5. There was a patch and it gives it, high performance mode. So I think a little crisper, a little clearer, 60 frames per second. And that game is a looker, still absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait to see, although the sequel, God of War Ragnarok, is releasing for PS4 and PS5, so I'm curious. Listen, it looks amazing. The first one looks amazing on PS5 with the little upgrade they did. So if it looks as good as that, that's fine. But they are releasing it last gen, so I wonder if that's going to hold it back at all. I wonder if the PS5-ness of it will have a little more bells and whistles, just because they were able to kind of like develop for this platform. The other thing was just a little patch to utilize some more power in the PS5. This, being that they were developing it for both systems, I'm hoping there was a little more, like I said, some more bells and whistles for the PlayStation 5 owner. Obviously I'm sure it'll run at a better frame rate at the very least. But awesome game, really cool game. I was like, yeah, this game's awesome. Tricky to get back into the combat. I didn't really remember how to do anything. I was getting my butt kicked very early on. But I think I've kind of started to get my sea legs back. I don't know if I'm going to continue on with that for sure, but I did want to dip back into it a little bit just to like remember and get that feel, because I am super psyched for God of War Ragnarok. That's pretty much like it's probably like my big fall game, unless like Nintendo comes out with some like really crazy wild announcement that knocks my socks off. So that's what I've been playing. What I've been watching, I'm just going to go through one thing, and I finally saw Everything Everywhere All at Once. And listen, if you've been on the internet, you've seen people probably gushing about it. I'm sure it's not for everybody. I'm sure not everybody liked it, but at least in my circle, everyone was like, oh my God, this movie's tremendous. I went in, I really tried to check my expectations, because I was like, I don't want to just give into the hype train and everything, but hey man, I watched it, and that's a really good movie. That is a really good movie. It might be one of my favorite movies of all time. It's incredible. It's not just a good movie. It's incredible. The acting across the board is tremendous. All the different genres and like just everything this movie is and what is contained in it is absolutely out of this world. I mean, it's a sci-fi movie mixed with like a martial arts kung fu movie, mixed with a tale about a parent's love for their child, mixed with a tale about depression, mixed with a tale of, I believe, about expectations and just life and enjoying maybe the quiet, simple moments, and maybe like not taking people for granted and just being kind and loving one another. It was like, I can't believe all of that was in this one movie. There were 2 times where I was totally tearing and crying a little bit. It hit me in the feels. It wowed me. There's just amazing fight choreography. The visuals in the film, I mean, give this movie all the awards. It really deserves it. There's really nothing like it. And oh wow, just what a movie. If you haven't seen it, like you need to see this movie. It was absolutely tremendous. It was such a fun ride, and I can't believe how emotional and deep it was able to be, while also being this like absolute spectacle and just fun movie. Really fun movie. So that was tremendous. Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's about life. I guess it's about life. There's just so much crap coming at us all the time. And, I think also I should even say it's about like discovering your true potential and like never giving up. Like that's like, literally like it had such an amazing, powerful message. And I think there's like something in it for everybody. I described it to my fiance saying, I want to see this. I want to see this movie. I want to see this movie. She was away. I don't think she was like that interested in it. And I ended up watching it. And I told her all about it after, and she was like, okay, now I want to see it now. She's like, no, I feel like I missed out on something. So maybe I overhyped it. But hey, man, I'm on the hype train. All aboard. Choo-choo! All aboard on the hype train, man. I'm there. I'm riding the train. it was a tremendous movie. So yeah, go drop everything you're doing, go see Everything Everywhere All at Once. Just a beautiful, awesome, fun movie. We need fun, cool movies that are original. This is one of them. If you are one of those people that is like, oh no, it's the death of cinema, the only thing that comes out anymore is Marvel and superhero flicks, like maybe this is like adjacent just because it's a little sci-fi and stuff like that. But I mean, like, you need to go spend money on this. You need to see it in the theater. You need to buy it on DVD or Blu-ray. Do they still make regular DVDs anymore, or is it just Blu-ray? I don't even know. I haven't bought one in ages. Buy it on streaming or rent it. I don't know. However you can find a way for this film to make money and support stuff like this, do it, because it's just an absolutely tremendous film. So that's everything I've been watching and playing. Now, for our Superman on film update this week. So basically, it's not so much an update as it is a confirmation or a not confirmation of something we discussed last week. And there were these hot rumors, right? San Diego Comic-Con, Henry Cavill is going to show up. They're going to announce some Superman stuff. And San Diego Comic-Con has come and gone. And unfortunately, Henry Cavill did not show up, and there was nothing about Superman there. So that's our update. That was, and I mentioned this. I believe I tried to temper my own expectations and everyone else. I said this could just be, there's San Diego Comic-Con coming up. There's some DC stuff to talk about. Everyone's just like, Henry Cavill's showing up. They're just like, everyone's just they're hopping on the hype train, right? They're all the way on the hype train too. And the hype train doesn't stop for anybody. So once you get on, it's really hard to get off. So I think people just hopped on there and were just like, the planets are aligning. So this has to happen. And it did not. It did not. And funnily enough, The Rock was asked if him and Superman were going to have a showdown. And he said, depends on who's playing him. And apparently the audience booed and everything like that. And I'm sure that's fun. But yeah, we don't know. We don't know what's going on. It's also even made more interesting by some other news we'll talk about that actually came out post San Diego Comic-Con. But since I've had a couple of days before I recorded this, we got some extra little news and whatever. You'll see. It'll all become clear. So that's our Superman on film update for the 29th. So yeah, basically I didn't make as many little, lower third banners, this week because there's just so much crap. I've been making banners forever. So we're just going to start off with DC at San Diego Comic-Con 2022. And like I said, there really wasn't much. There really was not much from Warner Brothers, regarding DC properties. So basically we got a new Black Adam trailer. There was some footage that is online now, but there's some footage that was only seen and then reported on at Comic-Con. Polygon, by the way, I don't work for them. They're not giving me money, but Polygon has a really nice breakdown of all the San Diego Comic-Con footage. I'm sure a million sites do and a million other outlets have it also, but I just particularly like the way they write their stories up and the way they organize them. It's just easier for me. So I'm using Polygon. So yeah. We got a new trailer for Black Adam. The same kind of anti-hero shtick. We saw a little more of the Justice Society. Specifically, we see some Hawkman. And we saw one or two other characters, but in very brief glimpses. Pierce Brosnan's Dr. Fate. But apparently at Comic-Con, people also saw a little shot of who may be the villain in the film. And, eagle-eyed watchers believe it is Sabak, who is a big red-horned demon man, demon man or demon monster. So that seems to be who the main villain is. Although Black Adam, you might have thought he was the villain of his own movie, and it seems like he kind of is maybe, but he's also got to beat up this weird demon guy because we got to kind of root for him a little bit, right? We can't just hate everybody. So that's basically what happened. I think I don't know if it's in this write-up, but I did read another write-up that also there was a shot of Viola Davis as Amanda Waller in some of the footage that was at Comic-Con. But yeah, there wasn't too much reveal. There was just more voiceover, The Rock talking about how Black Adam had it real rough and now he's a mean guy and the world needed a hero and they got him. So we kind of heard that already. So that was really it. It wasn't anything that wild. Out of for the Black Adam, and we'll be seeing that movie October 21st, so it's coming out very, very soon, before you know it. So that, and then the other detail, not detail, but the other topic that Warner Brothers actually bothered to cover while they were there is Shazam 2. We got another Shazam Fury of the Gods trailer. This time we got to see Rachel Ziegler, who's from West Side Story. She's playing some character with glowing hands. I don't think we know who she is yet. And then we also saw, actually, I'm looking here. She's actually one of the daughters of Atlas. So she's connected to Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu. So we saw some Helen Mirren in the trailer. We got some little goops and wise cracks. We got to see all the updated new suits for everybody, the Shazam family. But again, that was really it. I don't have anything like that wild. I don't have anything that wild to really throw in here. There was nothing like really massive revealed regarding this film. It still looks like it's going to be a fun movie. I am looking forward to seeing it. If I'm not mistaken, we're not getting this bad boy until December. So it actually got bumped. It got bumped up. So December 21st, we will see that. So we got Black Adam, then we got Shazam, and then we have. So then this is the news that came out after San Diego Comic-Con. It's weird that they didn't have this there. That would have been like a cool announcement there, but it just happened on Instagram because Jason Momoa put out an Instagram, and it was a picture of him and Ben Affleck on set for Aquaman 2, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And Ben Affleck was in his all black suit looking very Bruce Wayne. So apparently the big reveal is that Bruce Wayne will be in Aquaman and the Lost King, Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne or Batman. So we don't have confirmation if he's going to appear as Batman. Maybe it's just a quick little scene as Bruce Wayne himself. But previously we only thought he was coming back for The Flash. Now he's going to make a little cameo in Aquaman. I'm sure it's not a big part. I would imagine that because it's just so weird. Ben Affleck said he was like done with this. He's like, I'm done with this shit. And then he's like still popping up and stuff. And like new announcements too. Like not even like the Flash we knew just for a while. Like then we figured that's it. Now it's like he's popping up. So now I'm like, I went on a rant last week. I was like, fucking just get over the Zack Snyder stuff already. Or at least that era, aside from the characters moving on. But now this is happening. So now it's like, it is, dude. It's never say never. It's really crazy. I don't particularly think this necessarily means we're getting some continuation of the Snyderverse. I think maybe, as far as, maybe he's just tight with Momoa and they were like, hey, can we have you come in for like a day and shoot a scene? Like, I wonder if he was there. Like, I'm sure he didn't come in and shoot for months or weeks. He probably came in for a few days, shot a few scenes. Maybe it'll just be some kind of like little through line or connection to the Flash or something. It also stirs up in me some thoughts that maybe stuff with the Flash in behind the scenes, there is some, we know there's turmoil. There's all this like weird drama around it because of Ezra Miller and some of the trouble they've gotten into. But I wonder if like, maybe there's something going to happen with that movie. So they're like, hey, maybe we get Ben Affleck to show up in this one instead. I don't know. That's all total speculation. I don't know anything. But it's super interesting, to see this and have this announcement and like what? Now he's coming back. So like, yeah, now is he going to show up in more projects? Like, are things back on the table? Is he feeling better? And he's like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I'll still continue my little tale. Again, I'm not reading too much into it. I personally don't. I think there's probably like a decent, like, or a good reason for it, or just like, again, he was available and let's get a fun little Easter egg in here. So we'll see what happens. But, yeah, but also, again, so now we're going to circle back. I said we're going to make this circle whole. The way I wanted this to connect to what I was saying before is, Cavill didn't show up. Black Adam, The Rock, who was playing Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson, said, it depends who's playing Superman. Now we're seeing that Ben Affleck is coming back for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So now I'm like, maybe they will bring Cavill back. Maybe they're going to do something. I don't know. Again, I don't think Snyder's coming back, but like maybe they will do something with these characters still, or keep this universe alive a little longer than we thought. I don't know. Like really, at this point, like anything can happen. Anything can happen. It's like really, really nuts. Like I never thought I would be sitting here telling you this stuff and talking about this again. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much the DC stuff though. There again, it was just not a big showing. Now, On the other side of the aisle was Marvel. And Marvel came with, a ton of stuff. They came out swinging. They came in there to drop some info. Um, so, uh, I guess I'll start. I'm like figuring out how to organize this information. I think the easiest way for me to do that, I'm going to go through the official. So that was what was revealed. They revealed the official slate for Marvel's Phase 5 and Phase 6. So now we know all the big movies and TV shows that are coming out in Phase 5 and Phase 6 for Marvel. So Disney Plus stuff and stuff in the films. So I guess I'll just start off with each one. I'll go down this list and then I'll jump to any of the articles because there were like little tidbits also released for the stuff, new trailers and whatnot. So Phase 5. So here's how Phase 5 is shaping up. February 17th, 2023, we're getting Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. So director Peyton Reed's coming back. The cast is coming back. Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, and Michelle Pfeiffer. We also will have it looks like a new actress playing Cassie Lang, Scott's daughter, because also remember he was gone during the blip, so she's like grown up now. She's like a teenager pretty much. And we are going to be getting Kang the Conqueror, not the one from Loki, not the He Who Remains, but some other variation of Kang the Conqueror. I don't know if it's the Kang the Conqueror or just like one of the possible Kang the Conquerors, because there's like an infinite number of them in the multiverse. Also, apparently, Bill Murray is going to be in this movie. I don't think we know what he's doing yet, but Bill Murray is going to be in it. And hey, put Bill Murray in anything, I'm happy about it. I want to see Bill Murray. So now that's what we're expecting. So we're going to see Jonathan Majors reprise his role as Kang. So this will be the first time we see him since Loki. And I imagine he might show up possibly in season 2 of Loki and might be weaving in through a lot of other stuff. We know there's a big future for him, as we'll get to. So that's what we got announced. That start of Phase 5. Then on Disney Plus, so we just have a vague spring 2023, we will be getting Secret Invasion, which is going to be Nick Fury, Samuel L. Jackson, and Talos, who is played by Ben Mendelsohn. And it's going to be a conspiracy thriller covering the Skrulls. The Skrulls have infiltrated Earth at the highest levels, as they say. Some little notes here. Kobe Smulders is coming back as Maria Hill. She described the show as a guessing game between humans and Skrull. So yeah, really cool. It's going to be like a weird thriller. Who's who? We don't know if you're a Skrull or a real person. That could, have some potential. It's written by Kyle Bradstreet, who was a writer on Mr. Robot. And that was I've only seen a couple episodes of that show, but I know people were really into it, and I enjoyed what I did watch. It was pretty cool. So it seems like he's the right guy, because there was a lot of like weird stuff in that, if I remember correctly. Like, is it happening? Is it really happening? Is it in his head? There was like a whole thing on that, and I remember from what I saw being done very well. I don't know if it collapsed, later on in the seasons, but it was good. May 5th, 2023, we're getting Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. There was a trailer shown, so people did get to finally see Will Poulter's Adam Warlock, and apparently a baby Rocket Raccoon. We also got a couple other details. We did get a reveal that the villain is going to be the High Evolutionary. He is played by the gentleman who was the head of like Peacemaker's task force, and then we found out he was like a butterfly alien too. I forgot his name. And honestly, if I remember correctly, I'm going to probably butcher it if I say it, but he's playing the High Evolutionary. And apparently this movie is going to focus very much on Rocket. He's going to kind of be the backbone of this, and it's going to delve into his backstory. And we've, got confirmed from James Gunn as well in some interviews that the High Evolutionary has a huge part to do with that. So he might've been the guy experimenting and pulling apart Rocket over and over again, and turning him into a crazy Italian Bradley Cooper. Then moving on, I'm excited for that movie. The second one was not as good as Guardians 1 for me, but it was still fun, and I do like James Gunn style. I still enjoy it. So I think, and he's coming off of Peacemaker and Suicide Squad. So, and I feel like those were like really, really strong efforts from him. So that could really put this movie on top. But it definitely seems like there's a lot going on, a lot of moving parts. But he can handle it. He's pretty good with ensembles. summer 2023, Disney Plus. We're getting Echo, spin-off series from Hawkeye. This is I'm gonna hopefully say it right. Alaqua Cox. She's playing Maya Lopez, Echo character from the comics. We're also going to be getting Vincent D'Onofrio returning as Kingpin, and Charlie Cox will be returning as Daredevil in this series as well. So that's exciting. We're getting, we had D'Onofrio on. Spoilers for Hawkeye. D'Onofrio shows up as Kingpin. So we knew he was kind of back, but now we're getting confirmation that Charlie Cox is back after seeing him in a small little cameo in No Way Home. Very cool. So we'll be getting to see him there. Summer 2023, we're also getting Loki season 2. Like I said, I don't think we know much else about it. It's going to continue. There was a lot of big repercussions at the end of Loki season 1. He basically created the multiverse by Sylvie, the female Loki, killed He Who Remains, and that made some crazy stuff happen. July 28th, 2023, The Marvels. So this is going to be Kamala Khan and Carol Danvers. And also, I think I'm going to mess it up. I think I said it last week, and I'm going to forget it. But I think it's like, what's her name? Photon or something? Monica Rambeau's daughter. She got powers in WandaVision. I think she's going to be in this too, if I'm not mistaken. So we got a bunch of Marvels. This one's actually pretty cool. I know people are pumped for this one. November 3rd, 2023, we are getting Blade. That's right. We knew about this announced, but we have a release date now, November 3rd, 2023. We're getting a Blade reboot. Mahershala Ali, amazing actor to play the half vampire. Sounds, just that alone, I'm excited. I think it's going to be great. So we have that to look forward to. Fall 2023, not exact date. We're getting, Ironheart. Riri Williams, she's a young engineering student. She makes her own Iron Man suit basically, and she kind of becomes the spiritual successor to Iron Man. And it looks like they will be bringing that to the big screen. I should say to the small screen. That's coming to Disney Plus. But we do also know, and I'm jumping ahead a little bit, she will be appearing in Black Panther 2: Wakanda Forever. That'll be her intro, and then spun off into the Disney Plus series. Winter 2023, we are getting Agatha, Coven of Chaos. Last time we saw Agatha and at the end of WandaVision, she was sucked into a bad dimension or something like that. But apparently we are getting a series following Catherine Hahn's Agatha Harkness from that. We don't know if it's going to be a sequel and take place after WandaVision, or it'll be a prequel showing how she got up to there. I'm curious how they will do that, if they will do some cool funky thing like they did with WandaVision or they're gonna and she was also a little more fourth wall breaking in that, her character. So I'm curious if they will keep some kind of fun, because Catherine Hahn's a fun comedic actress, so you should have a little fun with it. I personally am not I don't think I was asking for that. I don't know necessarily who was. I thought she was a fun character. Don't get me wrong. I liked her inclusion in WandaVision, but I was like, oh, series? All right, cool. But maybe they came up with a good idea. Moving beyond that, spring 2024, Daredevil Born Again. So yes, Charlie Cox is back. We mentioned he is showing up in Echo. And we will also be mentioning, I guess I could just do it now. She-Hulk got a new trailer also. We know that series is coming out, and apparently Charlie Cox, Daredevil. Not apparently. I saw the trailer, and there's a shot at the end, only a quick little bod shot of a new updated suit, but we do see Daredevil will be showing up in the She-Hulk series. So he's going to be there. And then, yes, we are getting Daredevil Born Again, a new Disney Plus series, for our Daredevil Charlie Cox. And of course, Vincent D'Onofrio will be returning as the Kingpin in that as well. So, I think, I might have incorrectly spoken last week too. I think I said D'Onofrio had claimed that it's not the same Kingpin as in the Netflix series, but I think now I've read that it is the same Kingpin in the Netflix series. So I would imagine that this is then the same Daredevil from the Netflix series. So they're going to carry that over. Might as well. I mean, the series were good enough. I don't think they conflict with anything in, the current MCU. So, it looks like we're getting a continuation, and I'm excited because that show is really good. May 3rd, 2024, Captain America: New World Order. This will be Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie, donning, the Captain America suit and his cool wings and his cool shield. Obviously, after Falcon and the Winter Soldier, he took on the mantle. So yeah, he's going to be in this, and it's going to be his first starring movie as Captain America. Awesome. July 26, 2024, we're getting Thunderbolts. In a nutshell, it's like a bunch of reformed supervillains. Some people will like loosely make them an analog to the Suicide Squad in DC. Thunderbolts like a bunch of villains that team up and do heroic acts. So it looks like we'll probably get Daniel Bruhl back as Baron Zemo. He did show up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, so it'll be cool. Should be interesting to see how that goes. And that's going to be, from what I understand, I think a movie, not a series. It's going to be a movie. So we will have the Thunderbolts coming. So that's phase 5, folks. That's all the phase 5 stuff. So that carries us into 2024. Phase 6 now starts November 8th, 2024, where we finally got a date for the Fantastic Four movie. We still do not have a director or a cast yet. Unless, what the little cameo of John Krasinski as Reed Richards in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, unless that was a sign of things to come. We don't have a cast yet, or any casting, and we have no director, but November 8th, 2024. So it looks like, honestly, at this point, I don't think we hear anything about Fantastic Four until 2023, like real casting, real directors announcements, or at the very end of this year. Then May 2nd, 2025. So we're in 2025 already. We're already like 2.5 years ahead. We will be getting the first part of a 2-part Avengers team up, capping of the saga. I think Kevin Feige recently came out and like called it like it's not just going to be a team up movie. It's like to cap off the end of the saga. So this is basically the Infinity War and Endgame for this era of MCU movies. So we're getting the Kang Dynasty, May 2nd, 2025. Avengers, the Kang Dynasty. Followed 6 months later by Avengers Secret Wars on November 7th, 2025. We also commented on something the Russo brothers said, that they were really interested in doing Secret Wars at Marvel. I think since then, some news has come out that the Russo brothers will not be directing either the Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars. I don't believe we have a director for Secret Wars yet, but for Kang Dynasty, we're getting, I'm going to forget his name. I'm forgetting his name. It's not in front of me, but it's the director from Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings. He will be directing the Kang Dynasty, the first part, and then we will get a Secret Wars for the second part. So this is looking to be absolutely insane. Old characters could come back that have since passed away, or actors that have left. We could get some more, characters show up from other, versions of franchises, a la how we got Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in Spider-Man No Way Home, how we got, those cool cameos in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse. This is crazy. So for those that don't know too, Secret Wars is basically like a big, it's a big, like all the Marvel guys got to fight. They got to team up and fight for the amusement of the Beyonder and all that fun stuff. So, that really could be something special. And like, I think it's probably, this is going to be bigger than Endgame. I mean, you have to top Infinity War and Endgame. So I don't know. And like, think of how many characters are in that. And obviously we'll have some different ones, but that is going to be absolutely just nuts. So that's going to wrap everything up. So that's at the end of 2025. And then we'll see what happens from there. I wonder in 3 years if all these films and stuff will still be as healthy as they are now. I have a feeling they probably will. I think people are just invested at this point. So that is like all the stuff Marvel announced. That's the big slate. So that's like all the major announcements. So that is insane. Like now, if I can go in, if I may, go a little more in detail on some other announcements or some things we've known about. So one thing I'll jump into is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. All right, so like we said, Kang the Conqueror is going to be the main villain in this. And apparently Scott Lang is he's writing a book. I don't think he's too active at this point, as Ant-Man. But we did get a report that came out that there's going to be another villain in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and we found out that it is MODOK. Was it mental organism designed only for killing? Yeah, I think that's what it is. So yeah, MODOK is also going to be showing up in this film. So it looks like Ant-Man and the Wasp will have their hands full with Kang and MODOK when this movie comes out. Whenever I said it does. When this movie comes out, wherever I said it does, it comes out in 2023 or something, right? That sounds good. So yeah, that's a pretty cool thing. We're getting MODOK. MODOK's been showing up lately. We had him in the they had that like stop motion animation MODOK series on Hulu, which I watched a few episodes. It was very funny. I think it might have got canceled if I'm not mistaken, but it was pretty good. And it's Patton Oswalt. Also in the Avengers video game, rest in peace. I mean, it's not dead yet, but I mean, like that game just really came out. There's a big stinker. I'm sure there are some people that are heavily invested in it and really liked it, but that game just like really lost me real quick. But MODOK was the main villain in the story in that game. So yeah, looks like he's about to get his on the big screen debut, and that's pretty cool. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. We got a new trailer, folks. That was a really good trailer. It gave me the feels that it looks phenomenal. It just looks beautiful, and we got our first look here and reveal that likely, we don't know if he's the main villain because he's typically like an anti-hero, kind of like a Black Adam. Sometimes he's a hero, sometimes he's a bad guy. But we got a reveal of Namor. I think it's Namor. Namor, the Submariner, looks to be the big bad, potentially for Wakanda Forever, which is cool. I know a lot of people are pumped out there. He's a pretty popular character. And interestingly enough, Namor is, I'm going to use the M word, Namor is actually a mutant. I think he's considered, if I'm not mistaken, like the first mutant. And we did get the mutation M word drop at the end of Miss Marvel on Disney Plus. So it looks like we have to start seeing some more X-Men shit soon. We got Professor X and the Multiverse of Madness, the 97 version. We have the X-Men 97 animated series, coming out. This like reboot of that old series. So yeah, it looks like we are closer than ever to seeing mutants in the MCU. So I wonder if they will start using the M word as far as when we get into Wakanda Forever, if they start using throwing mutant around. Or they're just going to focus on Namor. Interestingly enough, I from what I understand, they are changing where he rules. So in the comics, he's the king of Atlantis, but I think that's too close to Aquaman and all of his Atlantis stuff. So from what I understand, I don't have it in front of me, but it's something with a T. They're going to be calling the kingdom that he rules over like Talakt or something. It was something with like a T and an L. Talcon or something like that. So that, I don't know if that's to make people angry. It's still an underwater kingdom, but they're not going to call it Atlantis, I guess, just to separate him. But Tenoch Huerta will be the actor portraying Namor. So if I say it all the ways, no one can get mad. And like I mentioned earlier, we will be getting the debut of Ironheart, Riri Williams. She will be also showing up in this film. This film also has to address Chadwick Boseman, missing and not being Black Panther anymore. Obviously, in real life, we lost him, sadly, like way too young. And he was like a tremendous presence. So, listen, the film's got some incredible actors and an incredible cast. So I don't think, they have some big shoes to fill. In the trailer, we do see someone at the end in the Black Panther suit. We don't know who it is. People are saying it's Winston Duke, who played. Do I have it in front of me right here? I say things last week, and then I forget them, even though last week I knew. Though he's the other tribe that was trying to beat up T'Challa. So is it him? Is he taking the mantle? Most people think it's Letitia Wright. There's been wild speculation on the internet. Everyone just like examining the butt of the character, being like, Letitia Wright's too skinny. There's no way that's her butt, and that she's filling out the suit. Really ridiculous. And they're all like examining. No, that butt's too big. It's got to be Winston Duke. It's kind of hysterical. That they're looking at the body type. But yeah, we and I think also some toys have come out, if I'm not mistaken, that show Shuri in the Black Panther suit, like with her, non-helmeted face in the suit. So it seems like that's probably what's going to happen, and that's what happens in the comics. So it seems like staying in line with that is the best thing to do. M'Baku, I found it. It's in the article. Okay, sorry. Winston Duke plays M'Baku, so that's the thing now. Is it Shuri? Is it M'Baku? Or is it Nakia, which is played by Lupita Nyong'o? That seems to be everyone's kind of arguing, and we just don't know. I don't know. It was, like I said, I thought it was a really exciting trailer. We're getting that November 11th this year. So that's coming out this year, 3 months away. November 11th, we're going to get Wakanda Forever. I have no doubt this movie is going to be epic based on that trailer. It was a really well done trailer, but just curious how they're going to handle everything. It's a really tricky thing. And we do see a shot of Chadwick Boseman's face on like a billboard in Wakanda in the trailer. And Angela Bassett looks like she has like a much more expanded role in this. Some people were saying that'd be a really cool if his mom takes on the mantle, and it's a real throws you for a loop, kind of subvert your expectations. I'd actually be down for that. I think that's really cool. So that they're not recasting the role. So that's looks like they're gonna just name the successor in this film, and this one got really exciting. The whole Namor, the Submariner thing, really dope. Didn't know that was going to happen. There's nothing really here that I want to talk about with that. Boo-boo. And I talked about this already, and we talked about that already. Okay, so that's pretty much like the big Marvel stuff at San Diego Comic-Con that got announced. Now, there are a few listener questions from Eugene Tan. Eugene went crazy and he sent us like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 questions. So some of them I will address really quick now, since we're still kind of on the Marvel topic, and some of them are kind of related to some of these announcements. So first one I'll go here. It's basically I'll kind of like paraphrase. What are the chances of Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Michael Fassbender's Magneto, James McAvoy's Professor X, and the rest of the cast from the early Marvel movies coming back in Avengers Secret Wars? Considering that it's that's going to wrap up the multiverse saga. I would say never say never, and pretty good. I mean, Andrew Garfield came back. I did talk some weeks ago that he looks like he's taking a step back from acting for a little while, but this is a couple of years off, so I'm sure like if the pay is right and he feels so inclined, maybe he'll come back again. Tobey Maguire might be still very open to the idea. It looks like they all had a great experience doing No Way Home. Fassbender's Magneto, McAvoy's Professor X. I think there's potential for all this stuff. We could start. Who knows if Hugh Jackman could come back as Wolverine? Deadpool may get thrust into all this mix. You know what I mean? They're going to be doing a Deadpool 3 that wasn't in the Phase 5 or Phase 6 stuff. Maybe Deadpool will exist outside of the main phases, but still kind of interconnect. Or maybe they're just figuring stuff out, and that'll be like something they interject in between. Who knows? I mean, it really. Any of these actors could come back, I'm sure, if the paycheck's big enough and they want to do it. So Eugene, I'd say chances are good of some really, really cool appearances and cameos from past actors, or just, even maybe some like random new castings and have variants of people. We don't know how big this movie is going to be. I mean, like I said before, I guess it's got to go past Endgame and Infinity War, so it's going to be pretty fucking big. That's going to be a wild thing to see develop and happen. And see like what the Avengers team even is by then, what characters are in it. I mean, I guess we kind of know. It looks like it'll probably be the Marvels. I'm sure whoever the new Black Panther is, Ironheart, Captain America, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Spider-Man. who knows? I did see another article that Kevin Feige said that Spider-Man and Daredevil were going to kind of be leading the street level team. So maybe Spidey is not going to be really mixed up in this crazy stuff anymore. Although he is very important into the Secret Wars, and that is how we get the whole Venom symbiote. And we know that the Venom juice is lurking around in the MCU somewhere. From the little No Way Home teaser at the end. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Anything's possible. Anything's possible with enough money. What else we got here? Yeah, another question from Eugene. Who would I like to see come on board to direct the fourth installment of Tom Holland's Spider-Man movie series? He gave us a couple of choices. He says, personally, my choices are Chad Stahelski, David Leitch, Antoine Fuqua, James Wan, and Jon Favreau. I really like the Jon Favreau thing. I think he's kind of preoccupied with Spider-Man, Star Wars now. But being that he directed Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2, then he kind of I think he's been producer, and I'm sure he's his brain's been picked as far as his opinions on stuff and helping organize some of the MCU. He was super integral to the beginning of that. That would be cool to see him come back and then get just a real grounded Spider-Man movie from him without space and a million other characters and other dimensions, because at the end of No Way Home we kind of left him off at the Peter Parker loner, no one knows who he is, loner Spider-Man by himself in the city, so that would really be cool to have a more ground level Spider-Man. We really pull it back and do something a little deeper, a little more character heavy. Anything else? Yeah, he also asked, I should go, this is a DC thing, so we'll kind of step away from Marvel for a second. With the recent news of Ben Affleck's Batman coming back in Aquaman and Lost Kingdom, could this leave the door open for Ben Affleck to come back for more DC movies? Can we finally get the Batman versus Deathstroke movie? Like I said, I think this is just a cute little Easter egg. It's definitely, I feel like they're using him just to kind of tie something else together before they kind of blow this shit apart and rearrange everything with the Flash movie, which again that's what we're all predicting. The Flash movie is meant to kind of reset things. So I think this just might be one more cute little appearance for him. I would love that Batman versus Deathstroke movie, but I don't think that. But at the same time, never say never, because I didn't think he was going to come back for this. I don't know. It's crazy. We live in the wildest timeline as far as this stuff. So yeah, it could leave the door open. It might not. I'm not going to read too much into it, so I don't get let down. And if it does happen, I'll be pumped. I'll be pleasantly surprised. That's the best way to live your life. Just Oh, isn't that Mary Jane's quote at the end of No Way Home? It's don't never have expectations, because then you'll never be disappointed. But it's kind of true, especially with this shit, with Hollywood and just these films and all this stuff. As fans, we get so and attached to it, and it's easy to I think that's why you see so many people having meltdowns and sometimes being a nightmare on the internet and being really shitty, because we're always we love these characters so much and we're so invested, and then you just feel you take it personal when things don't happen the way you want or that match your own headcanon, because as nerds we fantasize about this stuff all day and how would I make my perfect thing, or what do I want to see from these characters. It's so easy to do that, and sometimes you just got to take a step back, breathe in, do a little woosah, and just roll with the punches. Let me get through a couple more of these too. Will the nightmare scene from Batman vs Superman come back in any future DC movies? Will we see it coming back in Justice League 2? Again, Eugene, I don't think Zack Snyder's coming back. That's not to say they won't continue with some of these characters and some of the groundwork he laid, especially again coming off that Ben Affleck news. But I don't see that. And honestly, for me, the whole nightmare scene was the least cool or least intriguing thing to me about Zack Snyder's plans for his Justice League 5 movie epic. None of that stuff really there was parts of it that were cool, but I was never just the little the nightmare scenes we got were good enough for me. I'm not really interested in seeing this expanded out. That's me. I know I might be in the minority. I might be in the majority. I don't know. I know there are a ton of fans out there that would like to see this explored. And I know people that want, to see Zach's original ideas pan out. I don't know if it's going to go that far. And even if it did, I don't think we would get the nightmare scene. I don't know. That's my opinion. That's just my 2 cents. One other question he had, and he has a few more too, but I might save some for when Mario comes back, because there's some in here that I think he would be better equipped to answer or might have some interesting insight. But the last one I'll bring up because it's something we didn't talk about because it wasn't technically DC or Marvel, although it might be under Warner Brothers. But anyway, I digress. John Wick Chapter 4. We got a trailer for John Wick 4. So Eugene says, Keanu Reeves revealed the John Wick Chapter 4 teaser trailer at San Diego Comic-Con. What are you most excited about for the fourth John Wick movie? He said, personally, I am very excited to see the epic showdown between Donnie Yen and Keanu Reeves in John Wick Chapter 4. I am also very excited for that. You put Donnie Yen in a movie, I'm pretty excited. You put him in a movie where he's going to go toe-to-toe with Keanu Reeves in a series that I really love and think has some of the best, most fun action and fight scenes going on today. And you have a recipe for the most delicious meal I've ever eaten. So I'm very excited for that too. I mean, I'm just excited to see how they up the ante. I do like this little story they built out about the Assassin's Guild and the Continental and just all these little details. I love seeing Lawrence Fishburne with Keanu Reeves. This movie series is just really, really fun. It's like the Mission Impossible movies for me. I love them. They're great, just like popcorn films, and I go to just be thrilled and wowed. And there was some, like, they were already in the trailer. They had some crazy scene where, like, Keanu Reeves is, like, shooting another guy, and they're shooting each other at, like, point-blank range. I guess they're blocking with their cool suits. Like, their suits have, like, lining to, like, block bullets or something like that. Because it almost seemed like he was, like, throwing his, like, blazer coat out. And I'm like, how are people alive here? Or is everyone missing shots? It was just, I was already like, oh, it's crazy. Remember the knife scene in John Wick 3 when they're just all hurling knives at each other? And I remember the whole time I was gripping my seat, my feet were off the ground. I was like, because it was just so tense. That's what that little clip in the trailer gave me. So I'm excited for everything. I'm just excited to see, like, what creative kills they're going to come up with, because they seem to do something awesome every film, and it's really, really cool. So really excited to see the Baba Yaga return. I think Eugene answered a bunch of questions. Again, there's like one or two here I do want to save for when Mario comes back, because I think in case we don't get other questions, and also just because I think there's some that I think Mario could weigh in on a little better than me. But thank you so much for sending all of those questions in. Thanks, Eugene. You're a great listener. Really appreciate you. All right. Lastly, so we covered a lot of ground, a lot of DC, a lot of Marvel. Lastly, I'm going to close off with some video game news. GTA 6 details were revealed. So Jason Schreier, games journalist over at Bloomberg, released a report about the changing culture at Rockstar. So over the last 2 years, after all those reports came out, Red Dead Redemption 2, that the company was kind of like, like run like a little bit like a frat boys club, and was definitely kind of like derogatory to women and maybe minorities and I don't know what the word is that I want. I forgot it. I lost my train of thought. But anyway, how the studio was obviously not marginalized people. That's what I wanted to say. Marginalized was the other M word that I wanted. Marginalized. We're getting our brain cells. A couple of new ones are growing every day as I remember things. So it was apparently the studio culture was not great. There was a lot of crunch, a lot of burnout on Red Dead Redemption 2. And obviously COVID also had a huge effect on this and slowing it down. But these last 2 years, they've really spent time changing the corporate culture, and the reports, good positive things, that apparently it's becoming a better place to work. And but because of a lot of this restructuring and delays probably related to COVID and work from home and stuff, it has delayed some production on GTA 6, but some cool details did get leaked. So one of the big things we know now is that it will feature a female Latinx protagonist. So a female lead for the first time in a GTA game. Although I did read actually maybe GTA 2, which was one of the old overhead ones, may have had like a female playable character. So it's not like, but I guess it's the first of the 3D games. So going to have a female lead, which is really cool. And Latinx. So that's like, really cool representation. And they're going to be one part of a pair of like a Bonnie and Clyde type. So like these, like, I guess like this, maybe I don't know. I guess if it's Bonnie and Clyde, I guess there will be like a male counterpart. But yeah, like I guess like a couple, that goes around like robbing stuff. And what we do understand is it looks like it's going to be a return to Vice City, or their fictionalized version of Miami. So we will be starting. The game will start with one city, and it will be Miami. Apparently, they had bigger ideas initially, and they wanted to actually have it include large swaths of North America and South America, but it looks like because of some of the delays and just like the way they've been changing how they develop and everything there, and to avoid crazy crunch, it will be releasing with one area, but it looks like it's going to be something that is constantly updated with new maps, new missions. I also did read a note that it has the most interactable interior. I don't know if interactable is the right word or whatever. Interactable. That's a word, right? Sure, it is. Someone tell me in the comments. Um, that apparently there's a lot more interiors that you can go in and interact with. This is something I've been preaching for a while now, especially now that they have the big consoles. I could go with a much smaller map that's more dense. So the map could be like half the size of the San Andreas map from GTA 5, but if you can go in like all the houses in the suburbs, or like go into all the built like an office building, ride the elevator up, go out to different floors and like do crazy shit there. Like, yeah, I want to do like this. It sounds like I'm a sociopath and sick, but like I want to do home invasions. I want to break into apartments and rob people. And it sounds so messed up. And that's why everyone is like video games are bad. But you know what I mean? Like I want like that level of depth to the game. It's much more exciting to me than just like going off like large wilderness or like large gaps of just like mountains and crap like that. Like just make the city super dense and just have so many different ways to interact with it. That's what I'm looking for in games. I think that's like where the next step should be. Like that should be the next like thing that everyone is trying to do. Maybe shrink the size back down, make things more. And we have faster solid state drives now in the consoles. We can do that. We can actually, I think, load those environments quick enough to have that stuff happen. So, yeah, it looks like Miami, and then they're gonna keep updating the game. They're gonna add another areas. So this looks like it could be like almost like I don't want to say it's a live service game. I think it will still be like a single player game. Who knows if they're gonna migrate Grand Theft Auto Online into this, and then you can start like loading into different maps. I mean, I have a feeling something like that will eventually happen, but that's cool. They have Miami, then all of a sudden they add like Liberty City. We have like a chunk of New York to go to, and you could like take it national. The other thing that was interesting too is that they are going to be they're going to try to they're going to try not to punch down on marginalized groups and minorities as they have previously. And I think they are also aware of the fact that these games have always been like a parody of capitalism and America and a satire. But the real world has at this point kind of gone beyond satire and parody, because it's like a fucking joke of itself at this point. So I think they may try to lean away from that a little bit, not be, so attack the most vulnerable people in our society, and leaning into like stereotypes, as the article says here. They're trying not to do that anymore. And I'm really curious. There's like a date on here of like a 2024, like March 2024. I say no way, 2025 at the earliest we see this game. But yeah, that GTA 6 it's in development. It's happening. It's gonna be something. I'm pretty pumped to see how they evolve this series. Also, don't forget, Dan Houser, who was like the main writer behind like the last couple of GTAs and Red Dead Redemption 2. He has left the company, so there is like a new regime. There is a new guard at the company. So yeah, this should be something very, very different. I don't think they could just release bigger, prettier GTA 5 again, especially because they've already kept porting this game it went from the 360 and whatever, like the 360 PS4 generation. I'm sorry, the 360 PS3 generation. Then it came out on the Xbox One PS4 generation, and they are releasing updated versions, at least of the online, on new platforms too, on Xbox Series X and S. There's so many fucking letters, and PS5. So it's on like 3 generations of consoles already. So that's that's some news, man. GTA 6. So if you're wondering what's going on, when am I getting it? It's definitely a couple of years off, but it looks like it'll be something pretty cool and different, and hopefully evolve quite a bit. I think, like I said, like I was saying, they already released the prettier versions of GTA 5, so we can't just have this be an even prettier version. It needs to do something a little different. And I think if that rumor is correct about the interiors and like the way that's going to work, there's going to be a lot of new and emergent gameplay opportunity to come out of that and make it a much cooler sandbox style gameplay. All right, folks. So we just hit an hour, so we covered all the San Diego Comic-Con. There was I feel like there was also a ton of other news and information that came out related to all the superhero stuff and more game news and everything. But I think that's it for this one, guys. We did an hour. We got the DC stuff. We covered the Marvel stuff. I hope you are leaving informed. I hope it made you think, and we can now advance some discussion and speculate about all these cool new announcements. And I hope everybody's happy. Hope everybody's happy. Hope everyone's living well. Don't forget, if you have a suggestion for a topic, if you have a question, if you just want to say hi, you can always get to us at thefanboypodcast@gmail.com. You can also catch me at SuperBrettCon on Twitter. If you tweet at me, I don't go on Twitter I check it every day. I don't tweet that much, but if you tweet at me, I'll very likely see it and very likely respond. You can also get Mario at Superman on Film, or you can tweet to the show at, I should actually make a banner for this, but it is at, I'm going to do it right now, guys, in real time, at the Fanboy Show is the Twitter handle for the podcast, not the Fanboy Podcast. Unfortunately, that one was not available. So at the Fanboy Show, you tweet right at us there. You can also give us your topics, suggestions, questions, you name it. Thank you so much for being with me this week. And hopefully next week, it looks like I don't want to promise anything. I don't want to hold him to the flame on this, but I think we will have Mario back next week. And I'm sure with Mario back, there will be some things that I discussed solo the last couple of weeks that we will retackle. So it might be a nice episode, just catch up, get Mario's opinions on some things. And I don't know. I imagine this next week might be a little slow with news. You never know, just because we got that big blowout with SDCC last week. But sometimes after all these articles come out, we start getting those little details trickling out, and more interviews and little bits and pieces come out that weren't there on the actual show floor. So, hey, everybody, life is chaos. Be kind. Stay fanboy. Adios.